looking over the journal I kept throughout the semester that was filled with my personal thoughts, choreographic processes, and knowledge from other dancers and choreographers, there were a few entries that stuck out to me. The first of these was the entry representing the process I went through during my very first study in Choreo 1 on January 14, 2015. The pages were filled with self-encouraging notes because I was having the most difficult time creating choreography with an emphasis in space. Before this course, I had choreographed quite a bit. In fact, I had served as choreographer on multiple occasions throughout my high school career, but for some reason, this study was especially challenging for me. When I had created movement previously, I never factored in the sole idea of space. But after much determination, I managed to create a piece that met the goal I set for myself for that particular study. This goal was to create vocabulary that followed a strict movement path that I had drawn within my journal before I began studying movement. Though the study I performed on January 16, 2015 was quite simplistic, and some of my transitions didn't flow quite the way I had hoped, this study and entry represent the beginning of a semester filled with growth in movement vocabulary, creativity, knowledge, and confidence. Fast forward about a month, and we have arrived at our fourth focal point, energy. During this time, we were exposed to a reading that really resonated with me. This reading, pulled from the book Dance Composition, A Practical Guide to Creative Success in Dance Making by Jacqueline M. Smith Attard, introduced points I knew I needed to work on, such as going on autopilot while dancing. Her words left me thinking about topics such as what it truly means to be a body in the space. She discussed how one word can lead you to a thought that then brings you to a new thought, and so on. This week's reading left me ecstatic to both view my peers' work as well as embrace my own. The activities we worked on in class that week, including taking a phrase and performing it in numerous ways using different energies and descriptive words, also aided in leading me to create a piece that I believe was my first major milestone and breakthrough of the semester. I say this because for the first time in Choreo 1, I did not have any issues creating movement that I felt satisfied the requirements and honed in specifically on the idea of energy. Some of my major personal goals this week that were expressed within my journal entries were to focus on truly making the audience feel the energy that I was attempting to portray, as well as keeping a strong presence and energy even when possessing a slow tempo. This energy study that I performed for the class on February 23, 2015, incorporated a phrase that I first performed with the words dripping, flail, heavy, and sporadic in mind. I then transitioned into repeating the phrase, but this time using the words suspend, build, light, and airy as inspiration. After receiving feedback on the work from my peers, I believe that I achieved the goals I set forth to accomplish, as well as discovering a sense of backspace I had yet to achieve and incorporate in a study thus far in the semester. Though I chose to integrate music into this study, I did not want it to dictate my movement, but for it to simply act as a canvas for my vocabulary. Overall, I learned multiple processes during this week in Choreo 1 that I know I will find helpful in the future as I continue to explore my own unique artistry and movement vocabulary. During the time we were working with our energy studies, we were visited by world-renowned choreographer and adjunct faculty Sidra Bell. She sat down with our class to answer every question we had about achieving a professional career in dance. I was highly inspired by her approach to life, her artistry, and her choreography. After asking her about her track to success and advice on how to get there, she replied humbly with the words, "Be gracious." She stressed the importance of staying non-competitive, being versatile, and reflecting on all the wonderful things you've accomplished thus far in your career when times get difficult. Her outlook on choreographing was simply to work more improvisationally, while encapsulating the importance of bringing one's intelligence into the classroom. All of these aspects of Sidra made her one of the most inspirational women I've had the opportunity to speak to. After having Sidra Bell as a member of our department's adjunct faculty and hearing the details about her choreographic approach, I spent a lot of time reviewing her works. I was especially drawn to a piece that I found a significant amount of her personality within, called Beautiful Beast. The piece, that was commissioned and performed by the Duo Theater, opens the eyes of viewers to the detrimental judgments that are cast toward women in today's society. From a choreographic point of view, I found much inspiration in her abstract interpretation of a topic that has the ability to be expressed so literally. Throughout the semester, I often found myself choreographing pieces that use a narrative form simply because I am most fulfilled by works that I am able to understand. After watching Beautiful Beast, I highly admire Belle's ability to incorporate a storyline while still formulating a level of abstraction that makes the piece both exotic and interesting to the viewer. During a duet between a male and a female, the woman makes a bold statement of appearance when she performs wearing a blazer with nothing underneath. Throughout the duet, the two battle against each other for what appears to be control. The movers emit strength and a sense of comfortability within their own skin that complements each dancer's unique presence. Throughout each lift and interaction with one another, both demonstrate a significant amount of stability in their own bodies as well as a connection into the floor. After reviewing the videos of my own choreographic studies, I noticed a significant improvement amongst these traits in my own body as the semester progressed. I look forward to achieving the amount of comfortability portrayed by not only these two dancers, but all of the dancers in Beautiful Beast, as I continue to grow as a dancer and choreographer. My inspiration study, which I developed from my passion for musical theater, led me to create the final choreography study we did for Choreo 1. Because we were able to spend a significantly longer amount of time on the development of this study, I had the opportunity to make decisions based on trial and error. I incorporated many of the choreographic processes that we had previously discussed, such as mapping out my movement pattern to assure I would be using my space efficiently, finding energies for the characters I would be possessing by listing personality traits and using these descriptive words to discover new movement vocabulary, as well as finding moments to vary the tempo of my movement to decrease predictability. Overall, as I review my journal entry for my first choreography study and compare it to my final study, it is apparent that I have not only captured the skills needed to confidently create vocabulary that is distinctive to my style of movement, but also made significant growth in my performance presence over the course of the semester. I look forward to seeing how Choreography 2 will help aid in the development of my artistic and choreographic identity.